Hello there, guys. Welcome to 2024. Last year was a whole lot, and now we've entered into a new year. And I'm very happy that you've entered into a new year with me and we're here. And this year is about to be a lot of new things. I love the vision that we got from last year. It's about to be more clearer. And it's about to be put from our mind. Everything is, we have in our minds, everything that we think about, everything that, we want to manifest, want to bring out is going to be a reality into this year. I just want to start off that before we get into the episode. So welcome. If you are, you've been following me from last year, welcome into 2024 with me. Welcome to this episode. If you are new and this is your first time watching this episode, welcome as well. And there's so much other episodes for us to just go through that I recorded from last year to 2022 as well, for just dive into. But I hope that you love this episode and that you stay with us and you follow us through 2024, God willing. My name is Akosia Pepra, and this podcast focuses on a journey through our life, along with a very special focus on holistic wellness. And this episode, I'm going to talk about a lot of things that are also like personal. And a lot of the things I'm going to speak about is things I spoke about throughout 2023 that brought you guys into it as I was going through like journeys and going through things. And this episode is going to be about, you can see from the title, it's going to be about generational trauma. And someone might be thinking like, what the heck is generational trauma? And you've already heard of generational curses, but you probably might not have ever heard of generational trauma. Somebody to probably maybe heard of it, maybe knows about it or something. For me, I never knew about it. It kind of came out, like a revelation for myself, because last year, and I've done an episode on this, by the way, from beginning of March 2023 into July, I went through what I call like a whole very intense healing, a very, very intense healing stage. And I went through a little bit in 2022, but 2022 was like where like the ball just kind of like, it was rolling. It was really, really, it was a lot. And I went through understanding that how I have a fear of vulnerability, to then diving deeper into that, going on a journey with myself to, understand that where that comes from, understanding that trauma, how to overcome it. And then we dived into so many other things that I have that I didn't even know I had it. And some of them too, I knew I had it, but I just didn't know what it was exactly. And coming to one of the things I realized that I have a lot is that I do a lot is that I have quite a quick temper. And that one didn't come to me like, oh my God, I just know that and that's it. And I'm gonna, as we're going through this episode, I'm gonna really like dive into a lot of different, so you understand it as we go along. But it's a lot of people that I speak to as well, because of a podcast. I speak to a lot of people who, go through mental health, who have problems, they have things to do to understand what it is. I have sessions with people. And other things I've, from my experience, and I tell people, and I've also realized from other people as well, is that they'll be like, oh, I've been going through my healing state, but there's this one thing, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know how it is, what's going on. Or they'll be like, this thing, I don't know where it's from. I've heard from everything else, but it's like, this thing I don't know where it's from. And that's where generational traumas come in. There's a lot of pain that you're carrying. There's so many things that you're going through that it is not yours to carry. It didn't start from you. You know why you have that anger here? And you're thinking like, okay, this whole healing thing, I've been doing it. But randomly, I just get angry for no reason. Or it might not even be anger, it could be other things that you've realized by yourself. Maybe it's like you talk down on yourself a lot. You have very low confidence. Some people also have depression. Like, no matter how happy they are 1 minute, they'll just like, it's like it creeps up on them from places they can't even like understand. They're like, no, I've been really, really good lately. Like, everything is going really well. But I just don't know why I still feel sad. Why I just want to cry every night. They don't know. And these are real things. And the reason why you do not know is because it didn't start from you. Whatever yours is, either it's confidence, either it's self-esteem, either it's, anger issues, either it's whatever it is, it did not start from you. When I was going through my healing year around like May, June last year, one of the things I did was I prayed a lot. And I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll get into the spirituality of it all. Is that I realized that this healing thing is not a physical thing. Once I was able to do with, the fear of vulnerability and everything, and I was getting deeper, I realized that this thing is not a physical thing. Healing is not something that you just do physically and that is it. If you take it like that, you're just scratching the surface. And that's why a lot of people, go through therapy and they'll be like, therapy doesn't work for me. Or, I talk to people and I feel better, but then next minute, because you're dealing with just like a physical side of it, you're not dealing with the spiritual side of it. So when you're left alone and everyone is gone, you don't even want to talk to you anymore. It creeps back up at you. And you haven't learned, so you don't even know. No one has even taught you how to fight that. And you fight those things with prayers and a whole lot of like, it's a whole lot of things with that one. And going back to mine, I had a lot of like anger issues. And when God revealed to me that, this anger issue thing, you think it's just you and you just want to deal with it just yourself and stuff. And yes, you've been able to deal with it from the surface level. But the reason why, you still can't get over it, you still have this anger with certain people. You think about certain things and it still makes you angry. You're really trying your best to, keep it inside and be good. But then it's like you're really lying to yourself because it didn't start from you. You have to go back and like really deal with a lot of the things from the generations before you. And then literally, God revealed to me how my grandmother, to my great-grandmother, to my mother, and then to me, how they all have anger issues. And I started looking and I was like, this is so true. My grandmother is somebody that she's a lovely lady. I love my grandma to bits, but you don't mess with that woman. If things don't go her way, or like, you give her a little piece of nonsense her way, the way she will flip on you, you will think that you've killed somebody and then she's coming at you like that. And the way she can hold on to grudges and hold on to her anger for many, many years is dangerous. I've seen her do it. I've seen her still doing it to some people that I even feel sorry for when I think about it, because I'm like, at this point, like, it's been how many years? Let it go. And she, up to now, she's in her 70s, 80s, and she still hasn't dealt with that. And she's still fighting that. And there's a lot of things I know that she's missed out on because of not being able to let go of things. There's people that's around our families that, they have so much to give. But because she shut them away, because that's one thing that they did to her 10 years ago, 20 years ago, she still can't allow herself to like bring these people back into her life so that she can reap what she sowed from them. And let's go down to my mom. My mom has the same thing. She did it with me growing up. My mom has no patience. If things don't go her way, or like, she feels like, you're kind of coming at her a little bit, even if it's not even a disrespect. It's not even a disrespect thing. Maybe it's just like something small. She switches on like this. It's like a light bulb. And the things that she'll say to you, you might even want to go and kill yourself. The things that she'll come at you with, I dealt with it because she did it to me as a daughter. And I'm the first child, so first children, and I'm a daughter as well. So we go through a lot. But I saw how it affected my mind, and I saw how that anger she has, affected our relationship up to date. And then it comes to me, where I'm born into the same family, same lineage of women, and how then I had the same anger. Yes, also some things have happened to me as well that I was holding on to because of the same things that my mom went through, or my grandmother went through, her mother went through. They've just been carrying because people just haven't learned how to let go of things, haven't learned how to forgive, haven't learned how to just like heal from things. Instead, we just hold on to it, or like we just spaz out. And then I saw how if I do not go back and deal with all those things starting from my grandmother and then follow it all down to my mom and then come to me, there was no way I was going to get over it. And then that's when the spirituality of it comes in. When I spoke before about how this whole thing is not just a physical thing, it's spiritual side of it as well. Some of you, the reason why that depression is on you and you can't get rid of it, no matter how many people you've gone to therapy with, how many, even they're black people, you're like, oh, I only want a black woman, I don't want to talk to a white woman because black people, we have different stories, blah, blah, blah. You still can't get rid of that depression. You've watched all the videos on YouTube. You've watched you've read every book. You've talked to all your friends about it doesn't work. They've tried to help you how many times. It does not go away. You need to get into your prayers. Either you're Muslim, either you're Christian, either whatever religion that you are in, you need to hover down into like being with the God that you serve. And for me, I'm Christian, so for me it was prayers. Or a lot of prayers I did fasting as well. I was directed to do a fast. Because what I was dealing with was not a thing of just like, oh, I'm just going to pray 1, 2 and just fall asleep in 3 minutes. No. It was like hour of praying, 30 minutes of praying. Wake up better than at 4 a.m. to pray. Wake up at 12 a.m. to pray. Sacrificing a lot, because like you're not dealing with a small spirit. You're not dealing with things that just like, happened yesterday. It's things that has been here decades, years before you was even born. And you're dealing with that and you think you're just going to deal with it with just 5 minutes of prayer and I'll go and sleep. Oh, I'll do fasting. I just go and eat some food and be like, oh God, I'll start again tomorrow. No. So right now, as I'm speaking to you, you're probably thinking like, damn, this is mine. Or, my one is that. If you don't know, after this, I want you to really like sit down, like really think about it. What is yours? What is it for you? Mine was anger. Yours could be something else. And I'm using depression because I've had people that I've spoken to that had to help them through it. And I use the method that I use myself, that God reveals to me to use myself on other people, and it's worked for them. And one of the girls I was doing it with, hers was depression. No matter how many things she tried, how happy, how many holidays she tried to go to, she'd just end up at nighttime, she'd be crying. And she'll have these thoughts in her brain, like she can't get rid of them. Her life was not bad. She was not like living on the streets, so you're gonna be like, oh, my life is bad. No. She was actually good. She had money, everything was fine. But that thing just like couldn't leave her. And I told her like, yo, you need to pray about it, you need to fast about it. And for me, when I fasted and I was praying, and God really revealed to me like everything. And there was times where like, I would sit on my bed and I would cry for like a good 15, 20, 30 minutes. Because I could feel like, I'll be praying and I'm like, God, take it away. Like, this is not mine to carry. It's not my story. I've just fallen into this family. And if I don't deal with this and you don't help me to deal with it, because I can't do it alone. Some of these fights, you can't do. You think you can do it alone? And I'm going to go and read some books and watch YouTube tutorials and I'm going to figure it out. You can't do it alone. You need a higher power. You need something bigger than you to literally like take you from that soil that they're trying to plant. They've planted you in for so that you're sinking into it, pull you from there and put you on a different soil. You put literally on the rocks. And that's what I had to do. So I know if you're sitting there thinking, mine is this, mine is that, I need you to like figure out, okay, how am I going to get back into like, either you're Muslim, I'm going to get back into my prayers. If I'm, Christian, I'm going to get back into my prayers. Whatever religion that you are, if you're a Jew, whatever religion that you're Hindu, whatever it is, you need to literally sit down and ask God. This is what I did. I asked God, I was like, God, I need to reveal to me what is going on. What is this? And when you reveal to me, take away and take away these traumas. And it was there that God, she told me, was like, what you're dealing with? Because I didn't know what this was. I was just thinking, this is trauma, this is trauma, this is trauma. When he was revealing everything to me step by step, and I was having certain dreams and I was seeing certain things, it was when he was revealing to me, like, this is called generational trauma. You might have known the word, but me, I didn't know that there's something called generational trauma. I didn't know. I didn't know about it. It was like, we're dealing with generational trauma. You're not dealing with traumas of yourself or something happening to you when you're 5. You're dealing with generational traumas. So this is how we're going to deal with it. And it took me like 3 months for everything, for God. And I'll say like, God really to like, just take it away from me. And as he was revealing it, and I was like, and the thing is, when God reveals it to you, and it's really journey, like, it's not something I was just playing with your mind. It's not you sitting there trying to play with your own mind. God is really revealing things to you for real, and it's from a higher power. When he reveals it, you're not going to be able to stand, because it's some really deep things sometimes you will see that you'll be like, wow, it will literally blow your mind. I'll go into crying. I'll go into times I'll be screaming, I'll be crying in my room, like cry. I'll put loud music on so no one could hear me. And then I'll just be sitting there crying. I could be listening to gospel music and I'll just crying and crying and crying. And as I'll cry more, I'll feel like this weight lift off my shoulder. And that's how God wants you to release it. So as he's showing it and I'm going through the process, physically crying it out, screaming it out. Sometimes I'll write. I'll just like pick up a pen, a paper. I don't even know what I'm writing, but my hands is moving. And after I read, I realize like literally it's like things that needs to come out, I'm writing it all down. Things that even happened to me, maybe that I didn't even, something that happened to my mom that I didn't even know of, it will come out. So yours could be a totally different journey. This was my journey. This is how I went through it. Yours could be totally different. But I'm just here today for you to understand that there's something called generational traumas. That some of the pain that you have is not yours to carry. Some of the things you're going through that you can't shake it off, it is not yours. That's why you can't seem to shake up no matter what you do. And the only way to really like take that away from you, like to really like, heal from that and to like end off like, maybe that stage you're trying to end off in your healing is to go back to a higher source. Console a higher source. Whatever way you want to console, whatever thing you can't do it. Because it's too big for you. So we're not coming to the end of the episode. And now what I want you to really like, think about as you're sitting down right now, as you're listening to me, whether you're walking, whatever you're doing right now is, maybe you start your healing journey. You're like, I really want to heal from this. I want to be a better person. I want to, develop all that personal development stuff. Yeah. Or maybe you've gone through already, but it's like this thing again, you can't shake it off. I want you to understand that, which is really pretty much like the highlight of this whole conversation right now, is that healing is not a physical thing only. It's not a thing that you just pour a wine of glass and you sit in your bubble tub and you post pictures and say, oh, self-care. Oh, I'm going through my... It's not that. It's not posting quotes and pictures every 2 seconds. It is not going to a spa and talking about I'm going through my healing. Like, it's not all of these things. Yes, those has the parts to play in it as well, but it's not a physical thing. And it's not just going to sit down to talk to a therapist. I'm sorry, but somebody might be like, oh, don't say it like that. It's exactly what I'm saying. And this is my personal opinion, my personal like journey that I'm talking about. So yours could be completely different. But it is not just about going to sit and talk to people or telling all your family members what you're going through or telling every single body that you meet at your workplace your problems or your friends because you just can't seem to figure out yourself. It is a spiritual battle that you also fight when it comes to healing. Somebody out there might not have any generational traumas to heal because maybe like their parents maybe dealt it for them. Like some families, there's somebody already come before in your family who is probably like closed those generational curses, closed those generational trauma doors. They've done the work for you. So when you come into a family, you have a very clean slate to start off. So some things you don't have to deal with or fight it. And some of us, we don't have that. You are maybe the one who's born into your family to deal with all these things. My case, I know I am. And it's not easy, but sometimes maybe it's you that's going to have to deal with. That's why maybe what you're listening to this podcast right now is you that's going to have to like deal with these things to start a clean slate for your children. Even have kids, children you're going to have, or, you know, the new generation is being born into your family. So I want you to understand that you can, I'm not saying you don't go to a therapist. No, because I have people that come to me and do talk to me and people that, you know, that you know, we have conversations and things like that. But I want you to understand, and this is something I tell all of the people that I do sessions with is that this thing, before we sit down and we talk, I want you to first of all understand. Tell me what religion you're from. Do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? Where's your stand? Because I need to know that before we start anything else. Because I know where I stand and I need to know who I'm dealing with. So from there, if you believe in God, maybe I'm a Muslim, this and this and this. I have people that, you know, they are Muslim. I'm Christian, but I have people who are Muslims that I speak to. I have a God I speak to right now who's a Muslim. So when we're going through it, I'm going to tell you that, baby, this we're going to talk about here, it's going to get to a point. I'm going to take you through the spirituality route. We're going to do the whole physical stuff, all of the little things we're going to do that is on paper. Yeah. But it's going to get to a point, we got to bring God into it. Because He needs to show you some things you're never going to see by yourself. So I need you to, you know, hover, like really go down on that. And if you haven't prayed in the last 10 years, start doing it. If you haven't spoken to God in the last 10 years, but, you know, whatever, you feel like, oh, I don't believe in God. If you don't believe in God, this episode is not for you. I'm going to say that right now before we end it off. If you don't believe in God, you're thinking, I don't believe in God, so I don't know what to do. This episode is not for you because I'm not talking to you right now. But I wish you all the best on your journey. This is for the people who do. Because this is what I've been through. And I can only talk about the things that I know and things that I've been through. That I can testify myself for. Not what somebody can testify for me. What I can testify myself for. That I've been through and I've seen other people go through it. So once you come down to understanding that this thing is spiritual, not just physical, I need you to, as you know, maybe you're going through a therapist right now, maybe you're talking to other people, maybe, you know, you're reading a book on it, maybe, you know, you're going through your journey of healing and things like that. I want you to really hovering on praying, fasting, read your Quran, read your Bible, understand, pray to God to reveal things to you, what's going on, things maybe you don't know. What am I dealing with here? What spirits am I dealing with here? What am I dealing with here? That is not mind even be physical. And trust and believe me, He will show it to you. If you're really serious on this journey, He will. He will show it to you. It might not be in one day. It might take you a week's month before He can reveal some things to you. My one took me like 3 weeks of praying. Yours might take a bit longer than that. It might even be shorter than that. But He will. When He shows it to you, something can be really ugly. Just be prepared for it. And as you're going through it, keep praying that, take it away from me. She's showing it to me, take it away from me. Remove me from that soil that I've been buried in. Remove me from that soil, that sinking soil, and put me on the rocks. And He will do it. He's done it for me. He's done it for people that I've worked with, that I've, you know, talked to and stuff like that. And I've taken them through the journey. So He will do it. And I definitely wish you all the best on your journey. And this is the first episode of the year. And thank you very much for staying all the way to the end with me. This was a very heavy one. And this episode, I've been really, really excited since last year to really record it because it's something I've gone through and I've realized, like a revelation I've had. And God has been telling me, like, yo, you need to talk about this. I'm not taking you through this just so you can keep it to yourself. So you can just show it to people that only come to you to talk to you. I send them to you to talk to you. No. But I need you to put it out to the world for the people that I want them to listen to this. I'll bring them to listen to it, that will need it. And they'll be there for the next 5 years to come, 10 years to come, 20 years to come. And it will help generations. And it will help a lot of people to get out of the things that they feel so stuck in. So I hope that in one way or another, it helps you. If this is not your story, maybe you're not going through, this is not you. It might be your friend, it might be your family, it might be somebody else, your work colleague, whatever. Send it to other people, share it with other people. Because you never know what impact you could be having in people's lives. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah.